Hey, y'all. There's something I want to talk about today because it boils my blood. Um, just saw this story over on the Gateway Pundit. Just in, National Guard identifies two U.S. soldiers killed in Syria. Um, okay, and here we are. These two National Guard members. Uh, Gateway Pundit reported that multiple American service members were injured during an ambush in Syria on Saturday, and two soldiers and a civilian interpreter were killed. Fox News reports the Army has now identified the two Iowa National Guard soldiers who died in the attack. So, who's running Syria right now? Well, the guy who's running Syria right now is former Al Qaeda. And so the question that I've got to ask, and by the way, Syria is one of these places. There's all these places around the world where Christians are being massacred right now. Okay, Syria is one of them. It's been an ongoing thing in Syria. And Ethiopia, I think, is another one. Sudan would be another one. Um, it just seems like Christian persecution is on the rise everywhere. But my question is, why do we have troops in Syria? And you know, they're always trying to justify, by they, I mean our federal government, the absolutely rotten and filthy intelligence services of our country and their agendas of regime change and control around the world. Um, they're always stirring stuff up, creating more enemies for the American people. It's our taxpayer dollars that's funding all this garbage, and apparently the blood of Americans that is sustaining these agendas around the world. And you know, the media always wants to they always want to justify what the establishment is doing, you know. And I don't know that I've ever seen this guy in a mainstream media news report. I don't know that I've ever seen al-Assad's name without this designation of strongman, like he was a bully that we just needed to knock down. Well, guess what? We replaced him with other bullies. Other bullies that then went throughout Syria and were systematically killing Christians and killing minority factions and killing minority Muslim factions and minority ethnic factions that didn't align with what the new power system wants for the future of the country. Um, I just want to put this out there because it's your taxpayer money that is paying for all this stuff. And by the way, Ukraine and Syria have a relationship now, and there are Al Qaeda fighters in Ukraine helping to fight against the Russians, and there's money that's being funneled from Ukraine and weapons funneled from Ukraine to Syria, and that's our money too. That's basically being stolen from the American taxpayer and being spent on making more enemies for us and causing problems around the world. And apparently, we're funding the massacre of Christians around the world now. This is what the American federal government stands for these days. And this is one reason why I moved to Tennessee. And I'm not a fan of the American federal government. It's a rotten cesspool. It is a swamp. It's disgusting. And the current, I used to call it the Biden regime. Well, unfortunately, the Trump regime isn't really doing much by way of trying to clean out the corruption either. They sort of used the moral outrage of the American people to springboard into power, but now here we are, and it doesn't really seem like a lot of progress is being made, unfortunately. And this is what the American government is funding around the world, and our people are over there fighting for these causes that we have no business. We have no business sending people to Syria to fight and die for these. Let those people sort out their own issues. All right. I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to feeding these perpetual wars that keep the military-industrial complex fed. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. and it's a shame. I don't know what these guys died for. They're National Guard. They probably signed up because they wanted to be able to help their communities in case of natural disasters and stuff like that, and maybe because they wanted to learn some skills and stuff that would make them more uh, more useful employees and more productive in civilian life. National Guard members, they tend to be very civic minded and community minded people who want to give back and very patriotic. It's a shame that these guys have been sent abroad based on some corrupt agenda, and now they're dead. For what? For what? Of course, the establishment's going to say, "Oh, for freedom and for the country and all this other stuff," but it's a steaming pile of horse crap, is what it is. And I feel bad for these guys. I feel bad for their families. I feel bad for our country. We're just, it's not good. It's not good. And our taxpayer dollars are funding all manner of evil, death, and debauchery around the world, and it is, well, I'm about fed up, and I'm sure God's about fed up too with this garbage that the federal government is perpetuating, and it's just a real shame. Why are we there? Why are we there? Why do these guys have to die for nothing?